Hello there, and welcome back to Girl Boss and Bourbon, where I, your host Brent Schaub, review episodes of Girl Boss whilst drinking some bourbon. Let's get started. So, episode 12, I Come Crashing, as it's titled, starts off in the new year. We left off at Christmas in the last episode, so New Year, respectively, in 2008. So that's the present time that this is set. New Year's 2008. We see Annie and we see Sophia. They were on rocky terms because of just the issue with Annie wanting to work at Nasty Gal Vintage. At this New Year's party, they reconcile, they say let bygones be bygones, and all of a sudden Annie starts working at Nasty Gal Vintage again. We don't get too many details of like how, if she's getting paid, or I think that's kind of assumed, but that was a lot of the drama that was in the beginning. So it would have been nice to wrap that up, but we don't know. But she's happy and she's working for Sophia. They have their first business meeting where Sophia just lays out the whole plan for how they're going to come back after being banned from eBay. So they're banned indefinitely. No more coming back, so they got to make their own site. So she lays out the plan for their own site. And Annie sees Sophia struggling with designing a website. So she makes the executive decision as whatever her role is. We don't know the title of her role. As co-owner, maybe, I don't know, to just hire a website designer to help Sophia out, because Sophia has no idea how to do that. Sophia's a little resistant to it. She doesn't really like it. She wants things to be her way. And having a website designer would mean it would not be exactly how she wants. So that's a little bit of the struggle that Sophia's in this episode. So there's a lot of worry over just the relaunch of that website and relaunch of the business. But in the midst of that tension, we see Sophia and Annie just go and visit. This is a friend from Sophia's time as a art college's the secretary, like the front desk worker. This was like just a character that's in there. He was an art student, quit art school, and they went to like an art show. Nothing significant really happens out of this, except for one line that I feel like broke the fourth wall a little bit for me. Don't know if it was intentional or not, but this art student that's just having a hard time, he dropped out of art school, made this kind of weird art project, and there's a moment where he says, this show is a total flop. And I feel like it's a heavy hint towards the Girl Boss show. But maybe it's not. If it's not, then yeah, editing, maybe people weren't looking through that right away. But it was pretty funny to me, because knowing that the show got canceled, that was a big kind of omen leading into that. So, but anyway, that's all that scene was really about. Nothing more than that to be said. So another kind of random moment, just adding to the tension. Sophia's walking down the street, sees one of the dresses that she was really excited about that she got, and she sees it in this like department store, mass produced everywhere for super cheap price, and she kind of flies off the hinges and is now second guessing her whole business and if it's viable and if she can do it, and if she can keep up with those name brand stores. So just adding to the tension of not knowing what's going on. So in the midst of all that stress, Annie, in a way, says, you should, spend some more time with your boyfriend to clear your head of things, and just to get back on track, because Sophia was everywhere and not in the right place mentally. So she goes to visit Shane at his recording studio, where it appears, she's looking through, through that soundproof glass. It appears as if he is cheating on her, but it is not so evident. But either way, there's now a riff between Sophia and Shane. Shane is unawares, and Sophia is just obviously assuming that something's going on there. And we don't know yet if it is or if it's not. By the way it's played up, it looks like it is. So yeah, we'll have to stay tuned for the last episode. We got one more after that, but I think the title for this one is pretty fitting. I Come Crashing. It does, in her world, feel like everything's crashing, but like always, everything's actually looking okay. Despite hiring, they hired and then Sophia fired, but then Annie rehired again, the website designer. After that, they have a working website. They have inventory, so things are looking up in that regard. But this cheating incident, this potential cheating incident, is the wrench in everything. But episode 13 is coming up. All that will need to be resolved. So we'll just have to see what happens when we get to episode 13. We have a few things that seem bows untied. We have a relationship with Sophia and her dad, Sophia and her mom. We obviously got the Shane thing going on. It seems like everything with her and Annie is just fine. But we have the big launch coming up, and that is the title of episode 13, The Launch. So buckle up. It's all coming to a close with this one. With that, thanks for hanging around, and we'll see you next time on Girl Boss and Bourbon.